Millionaire grabs the wrong suitcase at the airport, and what he found made him fall in love with. Imagine this. You're rushing through a crowded airport, late for the most important meeting of your year. Your mind is racing with numbers, deadlines, and expectations, and then it happens. You grab what you think is your suitcase from the baggage carousel and bolt out of there like the place might explode any second. But here's the twist. That suitcase isn't yours. Inside, instead of your neatly packed suits, you find, well, let me just say, it involves lacy underwear, socks with faces on them, and something neon pink that definitely doesn't belong in a boardroom. That's exactly how our story begins. A tale where chaos meets control, laughter intertwines with love, and two lives take an unexpected turn because of one simple mistake at the airport. Our protagonist, Tyler Stone, is not your average guy. He's a millionaire CEO who thrives on order, precision, and perfection. For him, life is a spreadsheet. Every detail accounted for, every variable controlled. But all of that changes when he mistakenly grabs someone else's suitcase. Enter Grace, the owner of said suitcase, whose world couldn't be more different from Tyler's. She's quirky, free-spirited, and unapologetically herself. A walking ball of creative energy wrapped up in a dinosaur hoodie and mismatched sneakers. When their paths collide over that fateful suitcase, sparks fly, but not the romantic kind, at least not yet. Their first encounter is messy, loud, and downright embarrassing, leaving both of them red-faced and irritated. Yet, as fate would have it, this isn't the last time they'll cross paths. The tone of this story is equal parts funny, heartfelt, and suspenseful. It's about two people who couldn't seem more opposite if they tried. Forced to navigate situations neither saw coming. There's humor in the absurdity of their initial meeting, the tug-of-war over the suitcase, the public spectacle involving items no one should ever see outside a bedroom, and the viral moment that follows. But beneath the laughs lies something deeper, a connection neither can ignore. As we dive into their journey, themes of love, personal growth, and finding beauty in imperfection emerge. This isn't just a story about falling in love. It's about learning to embrace the unexpected, letting go of rigid expectations, and discovering that sometimes chaos is exactly what you need to find clarity. What makes this story so compelling isn't just the premise. It's the characters themselves. Tyler starts off as the epitome of corporate stiffness, but as the narrative unfolds, we see cracks in his polished exterior. His interactions with Grace challenge everything he thought he knew about success, relationships, and even himself. On the other hand, Grace brings a refreshing authenticity to the table. She's fearless in her individuality, unafraid to stand out or speak her mind, even when it lands her in awkward situations. Together, they create a dynamic that's as unpredictable as it is captivating. Their banter crackles with wit and sarcasm, but there's also an undeniable chemistry simmering beneath the surface. As the plot thickens, we're left wondering how these two will ever reconcile their differences. After their disastrous airport encounter, they unexpectedly meet again under very different circumstances, at a high-stakes business meeting. Picture this. Tyler, dressed in his finest suit, walks into a sleek conference room, ready to impress Japanese investors. And then he sees her, Grace, sitting at the far end of the table, looking as out of place as a neon sign in a library. The tension between them is palpable, made worse by the fact that everyone in the room knows exactly who she is, thanks to the viral video of their earlier escapade. What follows is a mix of professional rivalry and simmering attraction, with each trying to maintain their dignity while secretly intrigued by the other. But wait, it gets better. Just when you think things couldn't get more complicated, they do. Grace isn't just some random person whose suitcase Tyler grabbed. She's an artist, full of passion and creativity, and her work catches Tyler's eye in ways he never anticipated. Whether it's her bold paintings displayed at a gallery event or her unconventional ideas during company brainstorming sessions, Grace has a way of shaking up Tyler's carefully constructed world. Meanwhile, Tyler finds himself drawn to her spontaneity and warmth, qualities he didn't realize he was missing until now. As they spend more time together, their relationship evolves from antagonistic to friendly, and eventually to something neither can quite define. Of course, no good story is without its obstacles. Along the way, Tyler and Grace face challenges that test their growing bond. From meddling exes to corporate sabotage, the road ahead is anything but smooth. Yet, through every twist and turn, they continue to surprise each other and themselves. Grace teaches Tyler to loosen up, to appreciate the beauty and imperfection, and to embrace life's unpredictability. In return, Tyler offers Grace stability, support, and a glimpse into a world she never imagined herself being part of. Together, they prove that love doesn't always follow a straight path. It zigzags, doubles back, and sometimes even trips over itself before finding its way. And now, dear viewers, we leave you at the edge of your seats. The stage is set, the characters are introduced, and the tension is building. Will Tyler and Grace overcome their differences? Can a buttoned-up CEO and a chaotic artist really make it work? Or will the forces pulling them apart prove too strong? Stick around for the next part of the story, where secrets are revealed, alliances are tested, and hearts are laid bare. If you've enjoyed this introduction, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss a single update. Trust us, you won't want to miss what happens next. As the story unfolds, we see that Tyler's life wasn't always as polished and controlled as it seemed. Before becoming the CEO of Stone Innovations, he was just another guy trying to prove himself in a cutthroat corporate world. His father, a stern man who believed success came only through relentless discipline, had drilled into him the importance of order and precision. For Tyler, every decision, every move was calculated, almost robotic, but beneath his perfectly tailored suits and meticulously organized spreadsheets lay a man yearning for something more, even if he didn't know how to name it yet. Grace, on the other hand, grew up surrounded by chaos, but embraced it with open arms. Her childhood home was a whirlwind of art supplies, scattered across the floor, mismatched furniture, and walls covered in half-finished paintings. She never fit into any mold society tried to shove her into, and she didn't care. To her, life was about creating beauty out of imperfection, finding joy in the unexpected. Yet, despite her free-spirited nature, Grace carried insecurities of her own. Deep down, she often wondered if people saw her quirks as flaws rather than strengths. This internal conflict made her both fiercely independent and secretly vulnerable. Their clash at the airport wasn't just an embarrassing mishap. It was symbolic of their opposing worlds colliding. When Tyler grabbed Grace's suitcase, he inadvertently stepped into her chaotic universe, one filled with lacy underwear, quirky socks, and neon vibrators. And when Grace chased after him, yelling corporate banana, she unknowingly disrupted his carefully constructed reality. Neither could have predicted how that moment would ripple through their lives, forcing them to confront parts of themselves they'd long ignored. The tension between them reached new heights during the business meeting, where professional rivalry mingled uncomfortably with undeniable attraction. Tyler couldn't believe this woman, the same one whose personal items had gone viral online, was now sitting across from him in a room full of Japanese investors. Every glance, every sarcastic comment felt like a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. Meanwhile, Grace struggled to maintain her composure, torn between wanting to disappear and wanting to prove she belonged there. Their shared history loomed over them, making every interaction charged with unspoken emotions. But the real turning point came at the art gallery, where Grace's painting caught Tyler's eye. It wasn't just the vibrant colors or bold strokes that intrigued him. It was the raw honesty behind it. The piece, titled "Disaster Waiting to Happen," seemed to mirror their tumultuous journey as they stood face to face again, wine spilling onto Grace's dress and laughter bubbling up despite themselves. Something shifted. They weren't just adversaries anymore. They were two people navigating the messy, unpredictable terrain of connection. Back at Stone Innovations, things got even more complicated when Vanessa entered the picture. Tyler's ex-girlfriend brought a whole new layer of drama, reminding everyone, including herself, that she still held sway over him. Her presence forced Grace to question whether she truly stood a chance against someone so polished and confident. At the same time, Vanessa's subtle digs about Grace's past mistakes stoked Tyler's protective instincts. He found himself defending her, not just professionally, but personally, realizing that Grace's authenticity was exactly what his sterile corporate world needed. Meanwhile, Harrison Clell began weaving his web of deceit, threatening everything Tyler and Grace had worked toward. Clell's manipulations weren't just about power or profit. They were a direct attack on the bond forming between Tyler and Grace. By framing Grace in a fake embezzlement scheme, Clay hoped to destroy her credibility and drive a wedge between them. But instead of breaking them apart, the crisis only strengthened their resolve. Late-night meetings in abandoned studios, frantic calls to hacker friends, and whispered plans under the cover of darkness became their norm. Together, they uncovered Clee's trail of lies, piecing together evidence that would expose him once and for all. As the stakes escalated, so did their feelings for each other. What started as reluctant admiration evolved into something deeper, more profound. Tyler realized that Grace wasn't just the chaos in his life. She was the spark that lit it up. And Grace understood that Tyler's need for control wasn't a flaw. It was a shield protecting the tender heart underneath. In those quiet moments between strategizing and surviving, they allowed themselves to dream of a future neither had dared imagine before. The climax approached rapidly, culminating in an emergency board meeting where secrets spilled like ink on fresh paper. Clay's smug grin faltered as Tyler revealed the damning evidence. Emails, forged documents, and a recorded conversation exposing his betrayal. The room erupted in shock, disbelief, and finally relief. Grace, standing at the back, felt a weight lift off her shoulders. For the first time, she wasn't the girl known for viral scandals or awkward encounters. She was a woman vindicated, respected, and loved. Yet even as the dust settled, questions lingered. Would Tyler step down as CEO to pursue a new venture with Grace? Could they balance their wildly different personalities while building a life together? And most importantly, what challenges awaited them next? With every answer came another mystery, keeping the audience hooked and hungry for resolution. Little did anyone know the biggest twist was yet to come, a revelation that would test their love in ways neither could foresee. As the months passed, Grace and Tyler dove headfirst into preparing for Oliver's arrival. Their lives were a whirlwind of baby books, midnight debates over parenting styles, and endless DIY nursery projects. that somehow always ended with glitter everywhere. But beneath the chaos, there was an undeniable sense of anticipation, a shared excitement neither had felt before. For Tyler, it wasn't just about becoming a father. It was about building something real, something messy yet beautiful with Grace. And for Grace, it was about proving to herself that she could be both the free-spirited artist and the grounded mum her child would need. But life, as it often does, decided to throw them one last curveball. Just weeks before Grace's due date, Stone Innovations faced another crisis. Harry Sinclair, though ousted from the company, hadn't gone quietly into the night. He filed a lawsuit alleging wrongful termination and accusing Tyler of embezzlement, claims backed by forged documents bearing Grace's signature. The media circus was instantaneous. Headlines screamed about corporate scandals, secret romances, and the infamous Suitcase girl turned CEO's wife. It felt like everything they'd worked so hard to rebuild was crumbling around them. Grace refused to let fear take over. She stood beside Tyler during press conferences, holding his hand tightly, even when the questions got cruel. "We're not just fighting for our family," she told him late one night in their kitchen. "We're fighting for who we are, together." Her words ignited something in Tyler. This time, he didn't want to fight alone. Together, they hired a private investigator who uncovered evidence linking Clay to offshore accounts used to fund bribes and illegal transactions. With the truth finally exposed, the lawsuit collapsed, leaving Clay disgraced and out of their lives. For good. The resolution came on a crisp autumn morning. As Grace sipped chamomile tea on the porch of their countryside home, Tyler walked up behind her, wrapping his arms around her shoulders. "It's done," he whispered. "Clear's name is mud, and Stone Innovations is stronger than ever." Grace leaned back against him, smiling softly. "And Stone and Grace?" she asked, referring to their new joint venture blending art and innovation. "Already getting offers," Tyler replied, kissing the top of her head. In that moment, surrounded by falling leaves and the distant sound of birdsong, they allowed themselves to breathe again. A few weeks later, Oliver arrived, earlier than expected, but right on time for their chaotic little family. The delivery room was filled with laughter, tears, and yes, even a bit of glitter someone had spilled earlier. No one knew how. When the nurse placed tiny Oliver in Grace's arms, Tyler couldn't help but stare in awe. His son looked impossibly small, impossibly perfect. "Welcome to the world, champ," he murmured, brushing a finger gently across Oliver's cheek. Grace giggled through her tears. "He's already got your nose, and my wild hair." In the days that followed, their home transformed into a sanctuary of love and learning. Grace painted murals on the nursery walls, while Tyler read aloud from classic novels, determined to make their son a literary genius. They argued over diaper brands, laughed at 3 a.m. feedings, and marveled at how such a tiny human could change their entire universe. Through it all, they leaned on each other, finding strength in their partnership and joy in the everyday moments. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Grace and Tyler sat together on the porch swing. Oliver slept peacefully in his bassinet beside them, swaddled snugly like a burrito. "Do you think we'll get it right?" Grace asked suddenly, her voice tinged with vulnerability. Tyler reached for her hand, squeezing it gently. "Probably not," he admitted with a chuckle. "But I do know this. We'll figure it out together. And if we screw up, well, that's what love is for." Their journey, from a mistaken suitcase at the airport to parenthood and beyond, had been anything but ordinary. Yet, it was precisely the chaos, the missteps, and the unexpected twists that made their love story unforgettable. Grace and Tyler proved that sometimes the best things in life come from the most unlikely beginnings. Theirs was a tale of two opposites finding harmony, of embracing imperfection, and of discovering that true connection lies not in avoiding chaos, but in navigating it side by side. As the camera pans out, capturing the cozy scene of their little family bathed in twilight, the screen fades to black. A message appears. Love isn't about finding someone perfect. It's about finding the person who makes your imperfect world feel complete. What did you think of Grace and Tyler's story? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Rate this story from 0 to 10, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to stay updated with more heartwarming tales. If you love this, check out our playlist for similar stories that celebrate love, resilience, and the beauty of embracing life's unpredictability. Thank you for watching, and remember, even in chaos, there's magic waiting to unfold.